or you can do the low cool shit, bitch.
Yo, pull over right here, here it goes.
Hey, the neighbors think I'm selling dope, selling dope, selling dope, selling dope, selling dope. Yeah.
Postmodernism. We have all heard about post-office, post-mortem, post-porn, post-graduate. But what really is postmodernism? ये किस खेत की मूली है? So before going into the topic, let's break down the whole thing. Post means something after, and in modernism, modern means new. So you may have heard your parents or teachers telling you that, hey, you have become so modern. Not only us, even their parents were telling them the same thing. So every present generation is modern for the previous one. Now modernism is a kind of a movement which started around 1910, during which many modernist writers came like T.S. Eliot, Virginia Woolf, who have contributed a lot in the fields of literature. Now some of the pillars of faith were also contradicted during this period, like people started questioning the authority of God after Charles Darwin presenting his theory of evolution. People also started questioning their kings when Karl Marx came up with his own ideology of Marxism, which says that there should be only be public property rather than any private. So people started losing faith in their king as they thought king is the only reason for their suffering. Many people of this era also started losing faith on their own intellectual power, like the potential of mind was also lost. When Sigmund Freud commented while talking about consciousness that we only use 10% of our mind. Many people didn't like this fact, as they normally thought that we are using 100% of our mind. With the bloodiest World War I, which was fought in the name of democracy, which clearly ended with no results, people also started questioning about the institution of democracy. Finally, this was the time when many science advancement was on its peak, but after 1940s, atomic bombs were made, by which Japan was heavily bombarded. People saw the dark aspect of the science too. Due to this negative side, the faith in science was also lost. This loss of faith leads us to modernism, where the main principle was fragmented universe. People also believed that there is nothing on which we could rely on, or there is nothing which can help us out of this misery or problem. But still the modern man during this era believed that solution is possible. And all these writers during 1910 and 1920 were on the search of solution as a theme in their literary work. But things started getting worse and worse after the First World War. There was the Great Depression, then the Second World War and the Cold War. This was gradually leading us to the postmodernistic era, which started after the Second World War. Writers during this period neglected or stopped looking for solution. There was more of problematization of problems, and being aware was considered to be a form of rebellion. This gradual change happened from modernization, where people thought about solution, to postmodernism, where people started to believe that there is no solution. To expand the whole understanding of the topic, I will go through some features of postmodernism and provide examples along with it. Intertextuality. When we include texts, writings from other sources into our own piece of writing, that is known as intertextuality. It includes pastiche, parody, quotation or plagiarism, sampling or allusion. It sometimes helps us to portray meaning from borrowing something which already exists.
Don't save her, she don't wanna be saved. Don't save her, she don't wanna be saved.
Don't save her, she don't wanna be saved. Don't save her, she don't wanna be saved.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you.
These tracks not only capitalize on the creativity but also on the popularity of the previous song. Metafiction. It means going beyond fiction. The part of the lyrics actually starts relating to the reality of the listener. The singer or the rapper raps or sings about his reality that he faces or the circumstances he is into in his reality.
them.
मेरे देश का क्या हाल, ये राजनीति पैसे का खेल, जाते हैं जेल फिर बनाते हैं सरकार, जहां आधे से ज्यादा मंत्री हैं गुनहगार। जानना चाहते थे मेरे विचार, सिर्फ भ्रष्टाचार का बना व्यवहार, गरीबी हर पार।
Self-reflexivity, a personality trait that describes the extent to which a person can cope with changes in circumstances and think about problems and tasks in novel and creative ways. This can also be explained as an activity of finding or abstracting something about itself, that is, about feelings, thoughts, or actions, but without producing any of this. Fourth one is unreliable narrator. An unreliable narrator is someone on which you cannot rely up to. Like, you cannot be dependent on them fully with full confidence. They can be termed as some of a facade or a fake image that they try to show. I will try to show you with some examples.
Sex, money, murder, shout out all my blazing Billy. We in your city. Shout out my apes in the fucking zoo. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Spread thin racks on new chain. My bitch love do cocaine. Ooh, I fuck a bitch, I forgot name. Got Molly mixed with promethazine. Cause every time I wake up in the morning, I got murder on my mind. AK-47s, Mac 11s, Glocks and 9.
Now the last feature is hyperreality, which consists of objects which don't really exist in reality. Hyperreality can also be explained as the copy of something which does not exist, which is actually coined by Jean Baudrillard. Now, hardware is tangible, but software is intangible. Jean said that media is trying to show us something which is real, but we don't know whether it's real or not. We can't differ what simulation and reality is. So, hyperreality is something which can be associated with the blurring of lines of what is real and what is not.
Cocaine and drink it with your friends. You live in the dark, boy, I cannot pretend. I'm not faced, only you to sin. If you've been in your garden, you know that you can. Call me when you want, call me when you need. Hey Panini, don't you be a meanie. Thought you wanted me to go, why you tryna keep me teeny? It's a dreamy, wished it on a genie. I got fans finally, ain't you wanting them to see me? I thought you want this for my life.
Rap was postmodern from the very beginning because, as mentioned above, all the rappers used samples from other songs. They mixed genres with an album and tried heavily to blur the distinction between pop culture and high art. Contemporary hip hop has roots in revolutionary philosophy, but right now it's not a revolutionary art. Its postmodernism does not come from fighting against a broken system, but from its fragmented, referential, rhythm-focused aesthetic.
A new world hang outside the window, beautiful and strange.
These songs realizes that music is a source of sound and color that is able to reinvigorate a world, a life that has become distinct and strange in the day and the age. Therefore, postmodernists do not just endorse aestheticism or avant-garde trends like conceptualism or minimalism. They use a set of philosophical concepts that not only support an aesthetic but also analyze a late capitalism, that is, the cultural situation of postmodernity. They have a distinctive way of viewing the world as a whole, and we all are intended to be affected by this state. Not just through avant-garde art, but also on a more fundamental level by the massive increase in media contact by electronic means, which Marshall McLuhan in 1960 coined the electronic village. Thank you.